Influence settings. It says we're live, so. Stories. It's inspiring to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. So really, what I want to do is try to do that for everybody, because I don't get to go to every race across the country, across the world. Good English. So I want this to be that opportunity for all of us to kind of chat together and enjoy a delicious brew or non-alcoholic beverage. See, I don't discriminate. You can drink a beer, you can drink a glass of wine, you can drink a soda, you can drink a water. I don't care. Whatever you would like to enjoy. But really, the whole idea is to sit around for a half hour, 45 minutes, shoot the shit, and just to kind of enjoy each other's company and kind of find out what we're all up to in the endurance world. So I'm going to kind of go through the chat room here. If you guys have any questions, please type them in, post them. I think they'll work as comments on this video as well. There's going to be a little bit of delay. I believe there's about a 1.5, 2-minute delay between when I ask a question or when you ask a question and when I'll answer it. So I'm going to try to keep up as best as possible. It is choppy. I apologize. That is not on my end. It is not on your end. I believe it is YouTube. I believe it is whatever is happening between live streaming and through YouTube. Because all my settings are at low resolution and it should be working amazingly well right now. But it is not. So I blame YouTube. Someone is asking, is he gone? Don't tell me that it's that delayed where someone still thinks I'm not in the garage. Okay, I hope that the comments are also maybe just catching up on my end. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refresh the browser so I can see these questions fresh. First question to you guys. Do you have any races coming up this year? How is your training going for those races? I hope you do have races. I think setting goals is extremely important. And I hope that you guys are training hard for them. Here we go. Look at all these comments. Adidas Boost. Preference. I have not run on the Adidas Adios Boost. My friend Chris Vargo does, or used to. He loves it, or loved it. It was his go-to shoe, and he swears by it. But he's also 50 pounds lighter than me and about 1,000 times faster than me. So honestly, I have no opinions on the Adidas Adios. I haven't put my foot in them. I don't know if the Boost is worth it, if it's worth that extra money that you have to pay for it, if that rebound effect is in there. I don't know. So I haven't put my foot in one of those shoes, so I couldn't tell you. There's another question earlier. What's a good running watch to invest in? From Gao Bao. Gao Bao, just so you know, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think there's a running watch that's specific to road or trail. I think what you're looking for is either a GPS watch or a watch that tracks cadence. They'll give you a little cadence sensor you put in your shoe. Early Nike Plus devices did that. They give you a little device you could put in your shoe and it would track the cadence that way. It was never accurate for me. It always thought I was faster than I actually was on my miles. I was like, oh my God, I'm running a 620 mile. No, I was running a 750 mile. Still fast, but nowhere close to what I thought it was. So those aren't really accurate. And then I made the switch into GPS watches, and I started with the Forerunner, the Garmin Forerunner 110, which was the best watch. It was awesome. It was solid. I used it for years. Loved it. So if you can find a cheap GPS watch, then you're good. They're kind of harder to find. I know that there's Soleus, I believe, is a brand. Garmin, I think Polar has some that are coming out. Cento. Look for one of those GPS watches. At least your lighting looks good. Awesome. Okay, I gotta catch up. YouTube is doing their overhaul crap again, probably. No, not that bad. Great. I see you. Works for me. Awesome. This is great. Did he dies? 2 weeks or so, and make sure you're doing a long run on the weekend. And the long runs don't have to be long. It can be 3, then 5, then 7. I think the minimum long run you want to get in there is somewhere around the 8 to 10 mile run for a half marathon. That's my best bet. And then you'll get your medal and you will earn your beer at the end. I have the Ultra Olympus coming in and really looking forward to it. This is Mike Zigelli. But do you have any other suggestions on a 0mm cushion trail shoe? I have not tried any Merrell shoes, but I hope to. Merrell has a bunch of their bare access shoes, and I think, what is it, All In or All One or All Fast or something, new line of shoes. Check those out. Ultra has their the 1-2 is coming out, and I've heard that's a great shoe. One of their sponsored athletes, Josh, just ran on that this last weekend at the Sean O'Brien 50 miler, did great in it, and he was running in a sample size of that shoe, which is not his regular size. Those are probably the best bets. Matt B says, this is my first half marathon. Oh, I didn't know that, Matt. I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought you ran a half marathon before. So I would take it seriously, though. I wouldn't just like, oh, I have a half marathon coming up. I'm not going to train for it. I would actually make sure that you're training for it. You do not want to hurt yourself. Okay, Hawk Daddy says, at least your lighting looks good. Jessica Garcia says, Ice Age 50 mile, Kettle 100, and Hallucination 100. Holy crap, Jessica. You're killing it. Ice Age 50, I've heard of this race. It sounds awesome. The Kettle 100 and the Hallucination 100, I'm not familiar with. And the Hallucination 100 sounds awful. Do you do LSD before you run? I'm just curious. I'm gonna keep scrolling through these comments. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the chat room. I'm also going to try to jump between Twitter and Facebook. Some of you had asked some earlier in the day. I want to remind you, I hope the stream is not lagging. It was lagging earlier in the chat room. Let me know on kind of a regular basis. Still good or choppy or whatever, just so I know. YouTube's being a bitch. Gaz, and I'm going to horribly pronounce all of your YouTube handles. Gaspack G, new to distance running. Welcome. Training for first 50K in April. Wow, nice. Just ran first marathon distance on trail Saturday. The foot pain by the end. Oh, here it goes scrolling. The foot pain by the end was miserable. Does this go away with time on long runs? Okay, so this is a great question. And it's funny because I still ask this question. Even though I've been running ultras for a year, which is nothing compared to some of the people who run ultras. Some of my friends have been running them for decades. I met a guy this weekend. He's actually one of the co-race directors of the Cuyamaca 100K, which I ran last end of summer. And I didn't look at his resume before, but my friend Billy showed me his resume, and he has been running ultras since 1981. And that absolutely blows my mind. He's been running ultras longer than I've been alive, and he's been killing it. He has been killing it, every single one of them. His placing in all of these races is incredible. So that to me is inspiration. But the question still remains like, will my feet always hurt at the end of the race? And the question is mixed, yes and no. Mine have. My feet have hurt at the end of every 50 mile that I've done. They've just hurt. But it won't hurt for a while. Like today, I ran the 50K on Saturday. My feet hurt at the end of the race. They were fine within a couple of hours. I think that's just depending on what shoes you're running in. And for those of you who have the male genitalia, you want to wrap up that package because otherwise it's going to freeze to your legs. You don't want that. Get some thermal tights. Would be a great thing to do. Why am I not drinking this? I need to enjoy it. But great job, Alyssa. That sounds like you're training really hard. Matt B, Calgary Marathon, Centaur Subaru Half Marathon in June. Happy 50th. 50th anniversary of that. Nice. New York City Half. Love it. Ice Age 50 is a great race. I believe it. Capital City Marathon in Olympia, Washington. Hoping to break 3 hours this year. Troy. That's awesome. Capital City Marathon, Olympia, Washington. That's my hometown. Well, Seattle, Redmond is my hometown. But Olympia, I have had many road trips to and through. Beautiful city. And I can't imagine that the marathon is anything short, but awesome. I wonder if you run around the capital? Let me know. Hoping to break 3 hours, and that's just an incredible time. Breaking 3 hours in any marathon, my head is off. My ginger head is off to you, sir. Alec Davis says, I'm running the Boston Marathon as a bandit. Oh, still getting over a little planner. Should be good to go soon. And you admitted it here, Alec? That you were running as a bandit? How dare you, sir? I know people that do that for the Boston. It's an amazing race, a legendary race, so that kind of stuff happens. Just a few simple 5Ks. No such thing as a simple 5K. They all take their toll on the body. But you're killing it. Great job. Manny Mask 27, New Balance MT110. Will you try this type of shoe because you do have older New Balance videos? I believe they have the 110 V2 coming out. It's a completely different shoe. It is a completely different shoe. The lugs on that thing look huge. My goal is to get a pair of them because I do want to try them. I didn't try the original 110, but everyone says they're amazing. They were a little too minimal sounding in my opinion, so I didn't try them. And I skipped to the 1010 V2, which I loved. So it makes me really want to try the 110. So I will probably try one of the new versions. Joseph John says, Pittsburgh Marathon in May, aiming for a 3:25. Fucking fast. Then Erie Marathon in September, where I plan to beat you with a 3-hour marathon. Boston qualifier. Nice job, Joseph. I'm pumped, if you can't tell. I can tell. And I'm pumped for you. Just getting a BQ, male or female, is such an accomplishment. So those of you who are doing that or attempting to do that this year, my ginger hair goes out. I don't want to say that anymore. That's awesome. It really is awesome. My goal a couple years ago was to Boston qualify, and it was so unattainable that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try doing the longer distance. I'm going to go into ultras and see if I can start doing longer distances and hopefully go back one day and then Boston qualify. Thinking in my mind, you go longer, you work on gaining speed that way. A marathon doesn't seem so much like a daunting distance, and maybe I can try to speed it up and eventually get a BQ. I think for me, a BQ is like 3:10 or 3. They just changed it, so it might be 3:05. I don't know. It's just fast. I have to shave off like a half hour plus. Hawk Daddy says, no races planned, but I may volunteer at a trail ultra and we will have homebrew and bacon. Hawk Daddy, you nailed it. I will tell you right now, I really want to volunteer at a trail ultra, and here's why. The volunteers at a regular road marathon are incredible. There are so many of them. I can't imagine the logistics that go into putting on an organized road race. You just have to get thousands of people to help you. A trail ultra marathon, they all have aid stations. And I can try to provide some sort of aid. Holy crap, comments are just comments just started updating. So if I miss some, I am very sorry. And just so you guys know, it is choppy. That is YouTube's fault. I apologize for that. And holy crap, I'm sorry. It's going. My chat room's going so slow, so I'm trying to keep up here. I'll go through these a little bit faster. Oh God, I have to scroll back. You have experience with this is from Carlos Baranizzi. Again, I'm going to pronounce these all wrong, and it's not because of the beer. You have experience with Newtons. I've been in trouble getting used to the lugs. I'm following the website's instructions, but I just can't break trough the shoe. Any advice? Carlos, before I answer that question, by the time I get to your answer for the question I'm about to ask, I'll be able to answer it because it's going to take a while for me to scroll through. What Newtons are you in? Are you in the Isaac? Are you in the Terra Momentus? Are you in something with the smaller lug? Or are you in like the Distance or the Gravity, which have the thicker lugs and they're more pronounced and they have lower drop? Let me know what shoes you're in. Basic advice is you have to start slow, and they are uncomfortable because at the beginning because you're using your metatarsals, and those lugs will feel just weird underneath your forefoot. But when you start striking in the proper area, they'll just begin to feel natural. Then when you start switching to other shoes and then trying to switch back into Newtons, it's tough because you'll feel those lugs again. And I kind of have that trouble now that I'm reviewing so many different types of shoes, is when I go back to my Newtons, which I love, it's hard. They'll take their toll on my metatarsals because I'm just not used to them. So I have to use Newtons for a long period of time when I'm reviewing them. I can't just rotate through other shoes. I really have to stick with Newtons for a while so my feet get used to them. Author Elias says, got the Land Run 100 and Angel Fire 100 planned for the year. 2 hundos. Holy crap. Hoping to add some more 50s and 100s, though. Well, okay. Go for it. No. There are people who are dropping. My friend Jimmy Dean Freeman is doing the Great Race. I forget what the actual name of it is, but he's doing, I think, 6 100-mile races in less than 2 months or something like that. That blows my mind. You guys who can do the hundreds are blowing my mind. My goal is to do one day. Whether it will be in 2014 or 2015, I am undecided. But I want to do one. Gao Bao says, thanks, Ethan. You betcha. Dan Williams, Merrill Trail Ascend 2s are the bomb. That's great to know. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for joining us, man. Run till you puke. Ooh, I hate puking. Not too many 0mm cushion shoes out there. There are not. But check out Merrill. I know Ultra has some new stuff coming to the board. New Balance, I believe, has some, I don't know how cushioned they are. Author Elias, favorite after run beer, IPA. There's actually a local brewery here in Los Angeles that I really love, and it's Point the Way IPA from Golden Road Brewery. Just love it. It's in the can, a big tall can, easy to drink, easy to get, not super expensive. I love it. But I have so many favorite IPAs. I love a good bitter beer. High IBUs all the way. Perdmont says, I've used the Merrill Bear Axis and like it. Nice. Dan Williams says, good toe box room, and they have a decent amount of cush, but still minimal drop. Awesome. Dan, is that what you're running in? Are you running in Merrill Bear Axis right now? Alyssa Chung, what do you do for cross training? I am bad at cross training, Alyssa. I'm terrible at it. This year, it was one of my resolutions. Anything I can do to help promote that story is awesome. People who quit smoking and quit habits like that and become healthy people, love it. Love it. Chop chop still, says Perdamont. I hope not anymore. Matt B, it's the same as it was before. Dr. Foucault, I'm thinking of changing to Ultra this year. Give it a shot. Just because my feet don't necessarily work in what I tried doesn't mean other people's won't. Again, Ultra is also sending me some new pairs, so I'm really excited to try out some of the new line. Gaobao, fave pre-race meal. What do you eat during Ultras? Favorite post-race? Oh my god, there's so many questions. Those of you who have been asking and commenting on the video, I'm so sorry. It's going to take forever to get to it. Because this is a great question. Favorite pre-race meal? Before a run. The night before, I like to stick with pasta. But I actually do that 2 nights before and the night before. If I'm in a healthy zone, I'll do just like sauteed vegetables and brown rice. Keep it real simple. Maybe some of the Bragg's amino spray, which kind of tastes like soy sauce, but has no soy, and it's not super high in sodium. It's a great alternative. It's also a little bit expensive, but you got to get it at a health food store, but it's delicious. And it's amino acids, which is great. So that, or like pasta with sauce and lots of vegetables. But I like to keep it with what my body is familiar with. I don't want to go out and eat some sort of restaurant that has high cream pasta Alfredo or something like that. I don't want to do that before a race. I want to keep it what my body is used to. What do you eat during your ultras? This last Saturday, I stuck with Tailwind, which I actually haven't used in any race before. Tailwind is a liquid nutrition that has calories and sodium, so you don't have to take salt pills. You don't have to really eat, but I do. I like to eat. I do Pocket Fuel, which is great because it's a source of fat and energy. It's just nut butters, essentially. And they also have this new cold-pressed coffee, like pudding. It's amazing. It's so good. So I do some of that. Favorite post-race meal? You can't just chug beer, can you? No, you can't. I mean, you can, but you can't. Post-race meal, I usually, for ultras, you'll have to wait. Like, I can't eat right after a race. This last Saturday, right after I finished, I was about to puke for hours. So I had to stop. I do take a recovery thing. I do Vega or Hammer Nutrition Recoverite, chocolate flavor. I really like it. I'll just mix that, shake it in a water bottle, drink it, because that's protein and calories right after you finish. But I will have a beer at some point. I just like to have that one beer. Jessica Garcia, Hallucination 100 is part of a run in Woodstock, Michigan. Yeah, they do have an LSD race. Great times. I ran it last year. Second female finisher. I want to win it this year. Holy crap. Jessica, I bow to you. Anyone who can place top 5 in any race gets my respect. Well done. Alec Davis. Hey, Ethan, I hear Twitch TV is easy to live stream on, better than YouTube. Alec, that's great. I do like Twitch TV. It's very much a gamer-heavy site, which I'm totally cool with. What I want to do, though, is post these shows to YouTube. And this makes it easy because I don't have to do anything except click stop streaming, and it will just automatically be on YouTube for all of you to enjoy forever. So it's kind of... Oh, Brian Powell is in here. Oh, my God. What's up, dude? I'm just now reading that. Brian Powell says, P.S. Scotty Mills is a total baller. Totally agree, dude. Scotty Mills is just legend. Jessica Garcia, Kettle 100 is in Wisconsin. Timmy Olson also ran Kettle. Nice. Timmy is awesome. Super nice dude. Great family man. Ran this race this weekend. As he was coming into the finish line, he passed his wife and her father, and they all ran in together. For me, in my book, pretty sore, fresh snow, 10 degrees, and vomit at the end. Good times. That's, anytime you vomit at the end, it's probably good times for you, not so much for me. There's Wall of China. The marathon, yeah, the Wall of China marathon. It's in May. Who wouldn't want to run the Wall of China? Well, it does absolutely sound interesting, and I would love to go to China. I think it would be amazing, really cool experience. But I've read reviews that the marathon just gets crazy crowded on that wall, because I believe you run the wall for a short section of the entire race, and it's an out and back or something, and it gets really crowded. But it looks tough, and I love tough. It's already skipping. Started running last year. Will have had 3 marathons and 2 halves under my belt. Wow, in 1 year, that's amazing. That's really great. May 14th, I guess, is the Wall of Marathon, so I'm not sure about the date. Troy Sykes, I do run around the Capitol. I could see it out my window. That's awesome, Troy. Olympia Pride. Matt B. Is a bandit someone who runs unregistered? Yes. A bandit is someone who will run the race without any sort of bib, and they won't get an official time, but they'll get to run and take advantage of aid stations if they're sneaky. I do not promote that. I cannot be promoting that. Are you going to try the New Balance Fresh Foam 980? You better believe it. Both trail and road versions. They look awesome. Zumbini1, have you worn your 3/4 tights since you reviewed them? Tons. There's tons of videos where I wear them. I don't think I wore them in the North Face race, but I brought them to North Face, and I can't tell you how much time I spent before the North Face 50 mile in December trying to decide between the Solomon shorts and the Solomon 3/4 length tights. Hours? Ask any of my roommates from that hotel, Billy Yang, Dave Daly, Sally McRae. I spent so much time trying to figure it out, and I ended up going with the Solomon shorts, but I love those tights. What's your favorite medal design on your wall? I'll be honest, all these medals behind me, this is cool. This is actually why I like this live chat, because I don't get to talk about this during my reviews. They're all old. They're all from like years ago, 2010, 2011. I just haven't updated the medals. I now have a whole thing hanging with all these medals that I've done within the last year alone. But I really like the Disneyland one, and the San Francisco Marathon ones are really good. The Disneyland medals are always great, but they're so expensive. They're so expensive. All right, so this is the last comment that I see before my whole comment system updates. I hope you guys can even still see me. I have no idea because it's not updating very frequently. Running the LA Marathon on 3/9, 5 weeks to go. Training has been going well, but started feeling pain in the bottom of left heel. Had to rest this weekend. Thoughts? You did the right thing. This is from Frederica Villacarlos. Taking time off when you have a pain like that is very smart because you don't know what it is. It could be a sign of a bigger problem to come, so you don't want to push through that kind of stuff. Really smart to take the time off. 4 days, I mean, if you're at the 4-day window and it's still really painful, I would go see a doctor. Like a sports specialist, saw a doctor that maybe has dealt with runners in the past, so definitely want to, sorry, I now have to scroll back up because everything started updating. I'm really sorry, guys. So definitely want to take it easy. Is it, let me know if you get this, Frederica, where on your heel? Bottom, like underneath, on the back, in the curve? You are nailing the volunteer thing. I got to give you a lot of credit for that. Being a volunteer in races of that size especially just takes a lot of time out of your day and a lot of energy, and I have to give major respect to volunteers for those road marathons because you guys put a lot of work in there. And you've been doing it for years, which is awesome. Joseph John, if you reach this comment, thank you for what you do for the running world. Oh, that's no problem. Trust me, this is fun for me. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I consider you guys my inspiration more than anything. And there was no more proof than that than this weekend, being approached by a lot of you guys who maybe have watched these videos or have trained and raced and beard and all that good stuff. That's why I do it too. I just love it. To Tyrion, I haven't been able to run for a month due to shin splints, trying everything to get rid of them, but they keep coming back. Any advice? Yes. Here's the only advice. Stop running until they are gone. You can't let them heal for a week and then start running. They'll come back. You have to wait until they're gone, and it sucks. You might be able to get some cycling in or swimming. That's another alternative to keep your fitness up. But ultimately, you just have to stop running. It sucks. It's the worst thing that I have to tell somebody when they get shin splints and they ask for my advice. Again, I'm not a doctor. Make sure you have shin splints and you don't have any sort of stress fractures because that would be even worse. But you gotta stop running until they are completely healed and just walking around. You don't feel any sort of pain on the front or sides of your shins. And then also make sure that your shoes that you're wearing are not totally worn out and are fitting your feet correctly and are not influencing your gait in a negative way. That is my best advice and only advice for shin splints. You have been one of my favorite tubers. I really wish, which I know you can't really understand or know personally, but I really wish I can find some info for the more heavy people that want to run. Sunset Lover, I consider myself also a bit of a heavier person. I mean, especially when you compare to some of the people out there that are scoring these amazing times and stuff like that, right? But I understand what you're saying. Really what you want to do is take it extra slow. So there are programs you can find online where it tells you, here's how to train for a marathon, or here's how to train for a half marathon. And it takes you through these steps. You really want to take those down even further. If you're training for, like, let's say a 5K, start with a really small goal like a 5K. I don't even want to say that's a small goal because I can imagine it's a pretty big goal. So set a goal like a 5K and make it a good 5 or 6 month plan. And really, you want to start with the most basic movements. You don't want to do any additional race directing. There's so many races, though. The Wasatch. Oh, man. Western States is just, that's the dream. Western States is the dream. But that's like the 5-10 year plan, right? Trying to keep up here, guys. So sorry. What do you think of the Sayonaras? Mizuno. I have a couple of pairs of Mizunos coming. I have not tried the Sayonaras. What are the ones that I have? I think it's Edagame, I think, are coming. I've not tried the Sayonaras. Hawk Daddy. Hey, Ethan. A buddy of mine and I are going to brew at Pliny the Elder clone. I will let you know how it turns out. Yes, please. Elder. Pliny. Yeah. Dan Williams. Among others, yes. The Bear XS comes in size 15. Oh, that's right. You have a big foot. And Merrell's coming big, not super rocky. Going to Ultras for Central Washington. Oh. Let me know what you think of the Ultras, Dan. James Sandor. Loved your review of the Sunto versus Garmin. Very informative. Awesome. I appreciate that, James. Yeah, that was a big decision between those two watches for me. It took a good 6 months after I posted that review for me to even make the decision. And I went with the Garmin. Oh, I'm sorry. I went with the Sunto. I had to stick with the Sunto. Just had to. Billy Yang. What's up, brother? Yeah, it is a little nuts. This is pretty cool. Cactus4728, have you ever considered live streaming a run? It'd be interesting. There is the technology to do it. And yes, I have thought about it. In fact, I thought about that the very first marathon I ran. It would involve a couple of items. A backpack with battery juice that would last for hours. In addition to that, some sort of computer or hard drive that can live stream. So it has to have some sort of satellite connection on a regular basis, which is usually influenced through some sort of satellite connection like a satellite phone. And then some sort of recording device. So I've seen these out there. They do exist. I think they're very expensive, and I think they're proprietary. So you actually have to pay a sponsored company to let you borrow it for a duration. And it will live stream through like Ustream. I know that they have some, or other different live streaming services. So not so much on YouTube, but of course I would love to do that. That would be amazing. Influencing technology and running, that'd be crazy. Carlos Baranizzi. I can run a half marathon on the trails comfortable, but once on the road, I just can't. What is going on? What do you mean by that? Be specific. What do you mean by comfortable? Your feet hurt? Your knees hurt? Joints? What's going on? Abhijit Chiandiala. I'm so sorry I mispronounced your name. I've registered for the Squamish 23K. Do you know anyone who is going from Ohio looking for someone to train with and to travel to? I'm a student on a tight budget and need help. I do not. I don't know many people in Ohio, unfortunately, so I apologize about that. But I will tell you this, it is worth the journey. Ask some questions and give some advice and get some advice. This is fun, though. I love this stuff. I love live streaming. I love meeting you guys, even though I can't see any of your faces. I'm sure they're all bright and beautiful. I need to sit up. I'm just like slouching like this. All right, let's sit up. Good job, Ethan. Why aren't my comments updating? They just updated so much. Let me see if you guys can still see me. Can you still hear me? Oh, now they're updating. It's going to be a shitload. Alyssa says, interested in running a 50-miler as a 19-year-old. People are telling me to wait. Your thoughts? I'm kind of hung up on the idea now. Oh, I already answered that. I hope you heard my answer, Alyssa. I already answered that. Cactus4728, Ethan, have you tried this? Oh, no. I hope you guys are hearing my responses. CTAM79, did you just shave, or are you going for the full Taliban Duck Dynasty look? That doesn't make any sense. Because I'm looking at, I have like the 3-day growth. So what do you mean by I used to have the 30-day growth. I had the full beard, so I don't get it. Explain yourself, CTAM. Chris L., I'm having trouble building up mileage. Any advice to build up mileage fast? Yeah, don't. Building up mileage fast is bad, in my opinion, because it leads to injury. The more stress you're putting on your body quicker, the more damage you're going to do to your body. So I would recommend not doing that. If you're trying to do, I'm not saying it's impossible. My friend Colin actually just told me this the other day. He called it, I forget what it's called, like the 7-week plan to 7-week plan to greatness or something, where he ran a marathon going from 0 to a hero in 7 weeks. I don't recommend it. And I don't think he'd recommend it. But I've heard of stories like that. So It is possible. I just would not recommend it. Can you still hear me? That's what I said. Mike says, Kelly, how would you train for a marathon just 2 months after you've run a marathon? So that's a great question. And that was something that plagued me early in my days when I was like, I just want to run another marathon. How do I do that? Best bet, you run a marathon. Let's say you run a marathon on the first of 1 month. Me, early on, would give myself like a full week of recovery. Like, give yourself time, minimum. Like feel out your body. Let your body talk to you. And if you're in pain still, give yourself more time, because you're doing some serious damage to your body, all the systems, when you run a marathon and put your body under that much stress. So what I would recommend is allowing yourself to fully recover. Okay. Don't go for a run at all. Chill, relax, ice, stretch, do yoga, do simple exercises. Maybe go for a walk, ride a bike, do low impact stuff. For like the first week, the second week, maybe try jogging a little bit, see how your body feels if you're able to go out there and jog. Don't just rush right back into mileage. I would really slowly go into it. Really just let your body kind of get back into that rhythm. By the third week after a marathon, that's when you can kind of gauge your fitness and kind of go back into the train, anything to damage it further. So be very careful with that stuff. All right, I'm going to jump over to Twitter because these comments aren't updating super quickly. Oh, wait, here we go. Now they are, of course. Joseph John, plantar fasciitis. Keep your calves stretched out. Many injuries are from tight calves. Compression socks may help with the pain, but it really is just time and stretching. Yes, Joseph, I want to know what you are replying to, or if I asked earlier. Again, I'm sorry. Yeah, plantar fasciitis is just bad. It's a sucky problem, and it tends to be chronic. So you want to make sure that you are keeping your calves totally stretched out. You don't want that to be an issue. I had a bunch of calf issues last week, and it was really concerning me because I'm like, crap, I hope I can run on Saturday. A calf issue, a bad calf issue made worse is not good. You do not want that to happen. So be very, very cautious. How many good goos should I use in a half? I like them during 10K. Matt B. So I have changed a lot since I started running. Early on, I would consider using gels, goos, nutrition, stuff like that in a 10K or a half marathon. I would consider it. Now I wouldn't. Now I actually wouldn't consider it at all, especially for a 10K. Unless I'm going at full like VO2 max, really going for it, then maybe 1 or 2, maybe. But I haven't gone VO2 max for that long, and I can't remember how long, forever. So for a half marathon, I have a half marathon coming up in a week. What am I, the Vancouver first half marathon. What am I going to do for nutrition? I'll probably bring 1 or 2 gels because I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to go fast. So I'm going to need to replenish that glycogen. And gels are how you're going to do it. What I'm doing right now is trying to teach my body. This is something that's going to be an ongoing process. So I'll kind of keep you guys posted as these episodes go along or go on. I'm trying to teach my body to burn fat only. Like kind of process into the fat burning rather than the glycogen burning, which means that I'm going to be training at a much lower heart rate, just below 150, about 149 BPM. And for all my long runs, anything over 10 miles, I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to take gels. I'm going to take water and bring a gel as a backup energy source, or pocket fuel as a backup energy source. I want my body to what am I trying to say? I want my body to know how to burn its own fat rather than burn through its glycogen, which is a much faster burning, and you'll rid your body of glycogen before you'll rid your body of fat. So that's what I'm trying to do. But what I found just training for these longer distances is that I need less. I actually don't need a goo every mile, or every 3 miles. I can use a goo far more sparingly. Griffin Langens. My first race I ever did was the Jordan Elbridge Kamikaze Cross Country Challenge in New York City. Sounds awesome. Most epic and rainy race ever, and came in last place. Loved it and ran ever since. Your channel has been inspirational. Hell yeah, Griffin. That is awesome. Who cares what place you come in? I gotta be honest with you. Who cares? The only other people that care are people who want to compare themselves to you. That's not what it's all about, right? And I'm running a blog about this right now because it needs to be said. I do this for fun. I do this because I enjoy it. And I imagine a lot of you guys do it because you enjoy it too. Granted, there's something to be said about getting a personal record, a personal best, having camaraderie with a group of friends and like racing each other I have friends that are way faster than me, but I have these little challenges that I like to propose to myself. I'll do 2 long runs on Saturday and Sunday. Usually the long one on Saturday because that's normally when most ultras are. So I'll do a really long run on Saturday and not equally as long, but a very long run on Sunday, and usually incorporate some sort of mountains into one of those 2 runs. Big mountains. Get as much vert as possible on the various route, because the ups are really what's going to affect you on some of these ultras, because some of them have... You climb fucking mountains, man, and that shit is crazy. So anything that make your legs stronger and your will stronger is important. James Sandor, after years with Garmin's, I went with the Sunto. No regrets. Nice. Ethan Mack. Yup. Matt B. Yup. Man, I really wish I knew what you guys were yupping. But it lags. Yeah, we can. 1. Oh, okay, I get it. It's totally lagging. Anytime I say something, it's going to take a long time for me to see the comments. And here they are, updating. Oh my goodness. Abhijith, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Ah, the irony. It hung up when you were answering my question, so hate YouTube. Oh no. Miko and the Bee. Yerp, Miko and the Bee. What was your most memorable run race that you'd wish you could do again? Great question. It would be last year. I have 2 races. The Cuyamaca 100K, because it was my first 100K, my first race of that incredible distance. It was so well put on. I run through some dark shit that day. The video that I made from it shows the fact that I went through dark shit, but the truth is, I went through some really dark places in my mind that day, and it was like you just suffer. You just suffer, and it's really hard to push yourself out of that. You really need to use the knowledge that you will be able to get out of it. That will kind of push you out, but it just lasts for so many hours unless you can, whatever you need to do to your body to get it out of that zone is so tough. So that was really memorable for me because I did push out and I did finish that race, and I felt pretty good when I finished, and I was surrounded by friends, and man, it is an emotional experience. And then the other one would be the North Face 50 mile, because the race is tough. You're surrounded by legendary people, some of the best runners in the world, and you're running on the same trails as them, and that is just inspiring. You're getting passed by them, you're getting smoked by them, but it's still inspiring to see them put their all into it. And I was with friends. I was with some of my best running friends down in Los Angeles. We all went up. So it was just a really cool experience. Really cool experience. And 2 of my friends did so well in that race. Sally McRae got 13th female overall. Chris Fargo got 3rd overall. In that stacked field is just, it's incredible. So to have friends that place that well in a race of that caliber, it's humbling, but it's an honor. And my good friend Billy paced me, and I haven't been paced in a race before, so that was a really cool experience because he gets to run with me when I'm at my worst, and he's fresh as fuck. And so he definitely helps kind of lift me out of those dark places. You actually didn't answer it. You said something else that wasn't completely answering it. I forget what exactly you said. What, Matt B? Sorry. Refresh my memory. Be specific. Hawk Daddy. Once YouTube gets it together, this will be much better. It's fun, but frustrating. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry it's so frustrating. Matt B and Matt B. To clarify, I ran 15.2 in Calgary last year. Did the 10 and the 5, one after another, felt fine. Sorry, man. I kind of forget the thread. Consult a doctor and consult yourself and see what you are capable of doing, because everyone's going to be different. I'm going to wrap this up here in just a second, guys. Saw you at Sean O'Brien on Saturday. Yeah! Awesome. Glad you were out there. Thank you for being out there. I don't know if you were running or volunteering. That's awesome. Ethan Maxey, I'm pretty sure you can do it whenever you want. Yeah, I mean, sure, there are kids that are under 10 that are running 100-kilometer races, but that's not going to mean that everybody can. I don't know how the human body develops. Everyone develops. I know how some human bodies develop, but they're all different. I suffered a stress fracture last year and have been afraid to up the mile since it healed. Any encouragement? Thanks for everything. Keep up the awesome work. You got it, Kyle. Yeah, stress fractures are no joke. They are no joke. You need to make sure that you absolutely let it heal and go through as much physio as possible to gradually put the weight back on, weight onto that injury, not weight on your body. Just keep staying motivated with that, because I know it is painful. Matt B says, that's true. A lot of people were surprised that I used them in the 10K, but I found they helped give me energy hard to get up for races sometimes. Okay, if you're talking about gels for a 10K, and if you're using them before you actually race, that's one thing, because a lot of them have caffeine. So what you're doing, you're essentially taking like a shot of coffee before you run a race. It's totally fine. It's while you're running the race that if you're not going at VO2 max, you're not burning through all your glycogen. You have enough glycogen to last you a certain amount of time, a certain amount of distance based off of your training. So that's why when I see people running a 5K pumping gels, in my mind I'm going, why? You're just adding calories to yourself. It's not even going to kick in until you're done. At that point, you just got fatter. Just totally ruined all of your training and all your practice. So just make sure that you know what you're doing as far as adding calories and how many calories you're outputting and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up, guys. Again, I appreciate you guys sticking around. This was kind of fun. I haven't been able to go to the Twitter questions. I haven't been able to go to the Facebook questions. This chat room kind of kept me busy, which is awesome. I really enjoyed this. I apologize about the tech issues. I'll try to do some sort of triage over the next week. I might jump on and do another live stream at some point, just randomly some night, to see if I can get some of you guys to tune in and let me know if anything happened as far as changing the bit rate and if it lags and all that good stuff. So it's a problem that I really want to get fixed, because I would love for this to just be clean, smooth live stream. Oh my God, so many more questions. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me just do these, and then I'll do these rapid fire. What do you listen to when you run? Music sometimes. I'll always have my headphones in and an iPod Nano, or little guy, shuffle attached to my waist, just in case I do need music. But the last race I did, I didn't use any. Podcasts are also great, as well as audiobooks. Matt B, an audiobook? Yeah. Yep. Some marathons do ban iPods. Yes. But this race this last weekend, someone was listening to an iPod, and guess what? I kept yelling to pass him, and he never moved. I kept yelling to pass him, and he never moved. So I tried to finally squeeze by him and to pass him, and he yelled at me. And I yelled right back. I was like, you know what? Fucking take your headphones out. Fucking asshole. Carlos, I'm on the track and field team at my school and run 1,500 meters, lots of speed work. Train by myself for a half marathon. I feel like I'm overtraining. Speed work on school 5 to 10K days. Too much? Speed work, I only do 2 times a week. Ginger Runner Live. Train Race Beer Live. Train Race Beer TV. Ginger Runner TV. The Aid Station. Those are the ideas that I have. You don't have to vote on those. You can give me your own. Excuse me. So please, do. Let me know. You guys are awesome. Use the hashtag TrainRaceBeer, and we'll call it a day. On that note, I'm going to shake the computer, obviously, and I'm going to end the live stream. I will try to edit the tail and front end of this thing. For those of you guys who have been here the entire time, I really appreciate it. I know some of you have taken time away from studying or taken time away from friends and family. You're all very fantastic. Average live view duration, 5 minutes. People stuck around for a while. That's great. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.